It's been a minute. Hi guys! Haven't done one of these in a hot minute, so we're back to not knowing what to do with my hands. It's been 2 years since I've done one of these, which is a while. So we are in quarantine. There's a little thing called the coronavirus, COVID-19, pandemic, etc. So I figured now would be the time to put out a video for my Quaranqueens, which are quarantine queens, obviously. Please notice I'm wearing a Sun King Brewery t-shirt and very minimal makeup. I don't get to leave the house, so I don't really see the point in pretending that I have, or that there's really any reason for me to dress up for this. And you may be wondering, why would you do your hair then if you're not gonna look nice otherwise? Guys, we're learning new skills. This is apparently the time to pick up new hobbies and or develop crafts that we've been wanting to do, or just become different, better people. So I figured why not start with braiding our hair. Yes, I am kidding, but I did figure it might be serendipitous to do some crown braids. We're all quarantine queens right now, or at the very least we're quarantined. May as well be a queen. I already have a crown braid video. I may already have a couple, not super sure. Like I said, have not been here in 2 years. I don't know what's out there. But I'm gonna do some different ones, and they will differ in difficulties. Let's get started. To begin, I am going to start with our easier one. I'm going to very roughly part my hair in the middle. You don't really need to get precious about this. We're just learning new skills because we're stuck inside. I'm gonna split it into two, and we're going to braid pigtails and then pin those over our head. This is technically called milkmaid braids, but it's going to be a crown braid today. Bear with me. With one side, and I'm gonna leave out my little bits, throwing some hair back, probably losing some hair. I've got a lot of gray hairs, so don't mind those. I'm gonna do a regular old 3-strander. So you can do this with whatever kind of braid you wanna do, because it's not the type of braid so much as where it is placed. Like I said, these are technically milkmaid braids, so it's fine. This would not necessarily work if you had shorter hair, by the way. That might be obvious in a second when I whip it over my head, because if your pigtail ends here, it's not really gonna pan out for you. So I braided to the end, or enough. I'm gonna pancake it ever so gently. I'm not gonna make this braid be a huge one. These are practicing braids. She's somewhat pancaked, she's definitely braided. So now, I have not put a rubber band or anything on here, by the way. I should have started by letting you know you need some bobby pins for this. Maybe you knew that. I don't really use elastics when I do this, but if you need help before you pin it, go ahead and grab something to tie it off with. So I'm going to hold this bit down and pull the rest over top of my head, and then I'm going to pin. We do our best to hide these bobby pins, but since this is for you and you only, if you want to see your pins, or if you just happen to not be able to hide them super well, that's okay. We're gonna address this small elephant in the room. Hold that down and pin that sucker as well. And now, this looks a little crazy over here, but guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna braid on this side, and then we're gonna cover that up. So again, I'm gonna leave out some front bits, braid this to the end, pancake it, hold it down here, flip that over your head. Notice I didn't put any pins over here earlier. We're waiting until now so I can hide that end of the braid, and then we're gonna pin right there. And then you're gonna do the same over here, where you're gonna hide this little bubble and the little bits poking out from what you pulled over earlier. You're gonna move it over on top of that and pin. So I could have done more to pancake if you like the look of thicker braids. I could curl these front pieces if I so chose. This is the final result from our milkmaid braids that we are counting as a crown braid, because we are, you know it. So, super simple. Like I said, you can do this with any type of braid. Clearly I am working from straight hair. I kind of like crown braids better when you do them from curly or scrunched something else hair than straight. But if you need to throw in a little texturizing spray, dry shampoo to give it a little more grit, you can do that if your hair is just naturally straight, or if you're working from a couple days old straight hair like I am. We are now going to do a more traditional, aka actual crown braid. I'm going to give myself a deep side part. I'm going to split this into 3 pieces, and under, under, under from my sides, and then I'm going to start adding. So if you need more in detail braiding, I will link other videos here because I have done it prior, so I'm not gonna, what is it, reinvent the wheel? Is that what the old saying is? I'm not gonna do that. That wouldn't make sense here because I'm not inventing anything at all. At any rate, I'm just adding, as you can see, from hair from my part and then along my hairline in a regular Dutch braid. And then I kind of pancake as I go, so that way I don't get to the end and have all of the pancaking to do, because then your hair is kind of tighter and it's a lot easier if you do it as you go. When I get to about my ear, I'm going to move my hands and then continue on as I was. Unfortunately, I did not think this all the way through, and I'm not in a spinning chair. So basically, I am just continuing to braid along my hairline. I'm going to plan to end with all of my hair added by the time I get to the bottom of my left ear, so I'm not continuing to add all the way up here. I'm going to continue braiding the rest of the length of my hair while intermittently pancaking the rest of it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this down right by my ear, much like we did with the Milkmaid crown braids. Lift it over to rejoin its friend on the other side. And then I'm going to pin it. See this little chunk? You just take a pin, fold that down, and it adds to your pancake. So usually when I'm doing this braid, I'll curl these little pieces by my ears or take some pieces out more around my hairline. This is more of a true crown braid. I'm really nervous, but I'll show you the back. My final crown braid is going to be the one that the thumbnail shows on a day that I was clearly more made up. It's one that involves just an array of different braids. This is kind of my favorite one because it can just be whatever you want. This is typically when I will mix different braids or different sizes of braids, and yeah, it's kind of just a hodgepodge. I'm going to roughly split my hair into 4 sections and braid from there. So split my right side in almost half, and I'm going to do one regular old braid on this side, and this one I'm going to pancake a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to braid this out most of the way, wrap it around behind my head, and attach it to my bottom quadrant on this side, if that makes sense. Remember, we are going for rough estimates here. I'm going to take this, wrap it around. I'm going to pancake and pin. I kind of look like I've got like the Joe Dirt of crown braids right now. So now I'm going to add a fishtail. So I'm going to fishtail this bit, and of course my camera's dying. Crap. So sorry to have done that to you. So I finished my fishtail here, wrapped it around, and pulled it under this side, and then pinned it. And then what I had left from my upper quadrant on the left, right left, I rope braided, which I will leave a link for my video on how to rope braid right here. Wish I could have shown you. And then I wrapped that around the front. You can see it's just kind of more of a multi-textured braid. And then I just have the Dutch braid is the only part that went behind me. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got some entertainment and some new ways to style your hair. If you try any of these out or just want me to see whatever you're doing with your hair these days, tag me. We're gonna do #Quaranqueens. Hopefully you had some fun with this. I'm telling myself that done is better than perfect, and I'm back to YouTube. Bye guys!